Good morning. Welcome to Alpha O'Mega's Column Henge Temple. We're located halfway between Death Valley and Las Vegas in the Mojave Desert of the Southwest United States.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, David. Gosh,
Buenos dias a todos.
It's a little cooler this morning.
It's a little bit chilly, but it's a gorgeous spring morning out here. We have, well, almost zero signs of geoengineering this morning, and looks like we're going to have a crystal clear sunrise for a change.
Oh, that's going to be nice. And we won't be blown down by the wind today either.
Yeah, the wind has stopped, thank God. It was really a windy one yesterday.
Yeah, it really was. And the nice thing about the wind is that it really does an amazing job at cleaning up the desert. I mean, this morning, it's just like after a rainstorm in other areas. It's very quiet. Everything seems very clean.
By the way, we're putting the finishing touches on the latest episode for release this Saturday at our premiere of our latest Magick teaching video, and you're going to really like it. You're not going to want to miss it this week. It's on how to talk to angels. So I think you'll like to hear that one.
Oh, that'll be a very good one.
Well, we have first light on Shadow Mountain back here.
Oh, let's have a look.
So that means we probably have 3 or 4 minutes before we get started with sunrise.
Right here. And the sunrise is unusual again. Remember, we've been showing you as the sun continues marching along this horizon. Remember, at winter solstice, we were looking way over here to watch the sunrise. Now we're past equinox, and the sun will be rising right about there, just over the center of the fire pit. And because of the way this portion of the mountain right here casts a shadow, when we look over the mountain, you can see the outline of that shadow right here. And and that's why there's this dark patch right here, because that is the peak of the mountain creating shade. You know, in the desert, watching the light as it moves across the horizon, it's much easier to see, and it gives you a much more, it makes time feel much slipperier, because I remember when I lived on the East Coast with the forests, it's not so easy to tell because the sunlight is always dappled. Right. But here, where there's no impediment between the sun and your vision, you can really, this march seems very fast and very obvious.
Right, across the mountain like that. It really changes our sunrise times every day as well. So that's why you see us coming out here sometimes running for the ritual to make the sunrise in time, because it's very unpredictable. Today we're out here a little bit early, as we haven't had a good timestamp. It's been several days of clouds. We've had impeded sunrise.
Yes, and right now what we're experiencing is there's a gentle breeze that has just started, and it's blowing towards the east. That's actually the wind that's caused by the rising of the sun. It creates a temperature inversion. The sunlight hitting the mountain behind us heats up the mountain. That hot air rushes up and creates a wind. And that wind pulls towards the sun as the sun gets close to rising. And then, about 30 seconds before it actually comes up, the wind suddenly changes direction. And that is the key that we recognize as being our cue for when the sun is coming up.
Right.
I don't know if they can hear it, but it's blowing even harder now.
Yeah, it's picking up. It'll be just a couple of minutes now.
Some of the birds that you're listening to, we have the western meadowlark, which is coming in from the north side of the property.
Spring is full on here, as you can see. That the grass is coming back very quickly. By the time of the next rainstorm, we might be able to work out here in the rain if the grass is thick enough by then.
Now, in the south, the bird call that you hear is called a phoebe. And a phoebe is a small lizard-eating thrush that is about the same size as a robin. And rather than eating worms, it survives primarily on lizards, as there's more lizards in the desert than there are earthworms. But same family as the robin. And it has a very distinctive spring call that goes. It's very plain, but when she's around, you know that you are protected from lizards.
And snakes.
Yes, and baby snakes. She doesn't eat the big ones, but the little ones.
She'll definitely eat the little ones.
Absolutely, every time.
Yep.
Now we're starting to see the blast of sunlight. See, you can see a ray of sunlight
Right, just
shooting.
coming right over the top. You can see that one ray shooting over the top. Not reaching us yet, but it is
right
shining over the top, so it should be just a second. Get ready.
Because when that angle goes to 0, you'll see the sun.
Feel into your body now.
Feel how it feels before the sun rises so that you can really notice when the sun rises and be conscious of how you feel when that happens.
Even over the internet, you'll notice something. By the way, we've been getting some wonderful feedback. If something has happened to you, if this ritual has touched your life in any way,
there it is.
Be sure to let us know.
He is risen. All hail the sun, source of all life on earth.
The visible sun is the dispenser of life to the earth. May the living fire of the God force fill our souls with abundant life.
Take a nice deep breath and feel into your body. Feel the change that has already taken place from the rising sun. And now consciously feel all those sensations on your skin. Feel where the tingles are now. And as you breathe ever more deeply, relax just a little bit more with each breath. Nice and slow. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, visualize yourself as the tree of life, however it is you imagine that tree to be. And now, grow your branches up high into alpha sky. Drive your roots down deep into omega earth. I call on you in the east, Alpha. I call on you in the west, Omega. I call on you in the north, Alpha. I call on you in the south, Omega.
Alpha,
Et Omega,
the beginning,
and the end,
and the path of the age between. Sunrise,
and sunset,
and the path of the sun between. Birth,
and death,
and the path of life between. We stand here once again at the place where heaven and earth meet, where we stand upon the matter of the earth, and we stand here with our material bodies on the earth, and with our material bodies we reach out to the invisible, to the kingdom of light, at the speed of light, occupying the same space. And we call upon the angels of the opening of the Treasury of Light. Open the gateway to the treasury, O mighty ones. Fi te xa iza. Fi te xa iza. Xa ai. Xa ai. Litezaz. Litezaz. And there are 12 heads in his treasury, and these are the names that are in the places. When they sing light praises unto my Father, and he gives light power unto them. O mighty angel, head in the place of the east. Elazazoioia. Elazazoioia. Zaphosaos. Zaphosaos. Oa Zoa Ez. Oa Zoa Ez. Psozafi. Psozafi. Zoze ups. Zoze ups. Zezoias. Zezoias. Oizioe. Oizioe. Za-a-za-i-e. Za-za-i-e. Fozeav. Fozeav. Ozazos. Ozazos. Azozeza. Azozeza. Azo fa'ai. Azo fa'ai. And thus, having completed our journey through the places, at length we arrived at the place of the midst, the place of the Father of the Treasury of Light. Note how, standing here, we are in the center of the treasury, And we are reaching out towards the center of our solar system, the sun, as it twists and turns around the center of our galaxy. So here we are in this material level, and the door, the key to up level, the key to ascension is the center. The way out is through the center. Almighty Father of the Treasury of Light, by your cipher and by your name I invoke you. Emanation of my Father, by the power of Ea. Ea. I invoke you, O Father of the Treasury. Zai Zoa. Zai Zoa. Let the divine light descend. May all those who thirst for the waters of life promised by the Master Jesus be filled to overflowing with abundant life of the God force. In that hour when death comes calling to each and every one of us, may we be prepared and shed this physical body like a serpent sheds its skin, to rise triumphant into the kingdom of light, like the phoenix. Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
Protect Homo sapiens from extinction.
It is our intention to establish human freedom worldwide.
Human freedom worldwide.
Set our people free.
Set our people free.
Protect the strength of our God fire coming from the sun.
Protect the strength of our God fire.
Protect the purity of our food.
Protect the purity of our food.
The purity of our water.
The purity of our water.
The purity of our air.
The purity of our air.
And the sanctity of our genetic code.
And the sanctity of our genetic code.
Oh. Although we live here in service to this economic situation and this economic system on this planet, although in truth we are enslaved on this planet. Oh, you don't believe it? Just look to the sky. Think about it. On a farm, a good farmer decides what the cattle need. For example, okay, now the cattle need antibiotics so that they don't get sick, or they need this or they do that. Does the farmer ask the cattle? Do the cattle have any choice? How about the human cattle? Do we have any choice? What they're spraying in our air? We've been working now for years magically to stop the geoengineering, and yet still they fly in the morning. More often than not, we no longer see the pure desert sky, but we see the sky created by geoengineering, all the crap they're pouring out in the air. Do we have any choice over that? I don't know about you. I'm speaking to the men out there. I was circumcised as a boy. Were you? Did anyone ask you? Did you have any choice before your genitals were mutilated? If I am a free man and you're a free woman, why do we have no choices in these things? Why are we treated like cattle on a farm? Branded before we ever have a chance to make a decision. Think of these things as we're out here every morning attempting to free humanity.
Free humanity.
This world can be a paradise. It was once. And it's time to return to that once again. So mote it be.
So mote it be. Take a nice deep breath and again feel into your body. Many things have happened to you in the time we've been together. The sun has risen and excited sensations on your skin. The ancient ritual we are doing contacts angelic forces in dimensions unseen. And how do they communicate? By touch. When you can feel your whole body and be aware of the skin on your body, you have the ability to communicate with that which everyone else considers invisible and you know is the God force. This God force energy permeates everything we have the possibility of experiencing. This is the connection between here and Alpha Centauri. This is the connection between heaven and earth. You are the divine spark present in matter to, with your will, create Eden here, now.
Oh, thank you so much for coming out here every day. We really, really appreciate it. And we also appreciate the support that you've been giving to our mission. It should be clear now, the mission of the Alpha Omega is to empower humanity with magic. For way too long, magic has been reserved to a power elite who have misused it to control others. Now it is time to be free. Now it is time to reclaim your autonomy. Now it is time to reclaim your freedom. Magic is the great equalizer. Pro salute populi, for the good of the people. We're here every day working for the good of the people, for the good of humanity, for the good of all our people. And we thank you for showing your appreciation, for encouraging our mission, for assisting us in our work. Every course that you buy from us, every dollar that you donate to us, all of it goes to further this mission. We would really like to thank you for that. If you'd like to make a donation, you can visit us at www.alphaomega.church. Since you're on the far ends of the world, this is the closest we can come to passing around a collection plate. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
And until we have the pleasure of each other's company again, may the God force run strong within you. And, as always, may your magics work better than expected.